Hey, welcome to Ben Fly's RC. Today we are going to set up the Goosky S2 Ultra on a Radiomaster TX15. My friend has very kindly sent me one of these out, so we're going to start from completely stock factory settings, put everything that we need on this radio, download everything that you need on your computer in order to get the Goosky S2 Ultra flying. It's going to be the quite quick and dirty method, so if you like really in-depth videos, perhaps check out Jonas Wackenhauser, that guy. He's got a nice hour-long video going through every single step, how to set up Rotorflight, etc. So if that's your thing, check that out. I think Rotorflight is a lot like when you go swimming in very cold water. I don't know if this is just a UK thing, but when you go swimming in very cold water, you have to pretend that it's really warm, right? So you get in, yeah, it's fine. And when someone says, "Oh, how is it?" You're like, yeah, it's fine actually, it's quite warm. So that's what Rotorflight is. When you get into it and people say, "Oh, but isn't it really difficult?" No, it's fine. Honestly, it's fine. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna do it the really quick way. I'm not the kind of person that wants to spend ages and ages doing this, so we'll just make it as simple as possible to make it work. Let's go. Yo, Future Ben here. So actually, this is not the quickest way you can do it. The quickest way you could do it would be to just copy a file directly from someone else's transmitter, and there's something pretty exciting on that front, where Adam Turner has actually created an app for Rotorflight on Edge TX, which makes it a really nice experience with really good battery telemetry. It's got the call outs, and you can do live tuning of your PIDs, all sorts of stuff. Really cool. I am going to make a video on how you install that. And I'll also be making a video for updating to the latest firmware on the S2 Ultra and putting on a new file with different PID gains and just making everything as good as possible. That's coming in the future. I still think it's worth doing this quick dirty setup for anyone, because at least you have some understanding of what is going into the radio. It's not like in-depth, but it's enough that you have a feel for what's going on. So with that in mind, keep an eye out for that. That's exciting stuff, but let's go back to the boring, really exciting video of setting this up. Step one. So we download the configurator for Rotorflight for your computer. So you click there, you select what you need. So you've got Mac here, and then I'm using a 64-bit Windows PC. So if you're using Windows, it's probably this one. So we click that. I'm going to save this to my TX15 video folder. So you can stick them all in one folder if that makes it easier. We've got the firmware for Radiomaster. I'm going to put the link to all of these in the description, so the page you see me on is where it's going to take you to. We are going to go and download this firmware. This we're going to use to enable the 3-position switches on the TX15. So this one has had the 3-position switches put on the back shoulder switches, which is an option that you can do. So I'll be showing how you do that and put those switches on. If you don't have those, then we'll just have 2 banks. But yeah, in this case, this is with the 3-position switches on this radio. Where's my thing gone? Documents, TX15 video. Save. Okay, that is the firmware, Lua scripts. This is the Rotorflight Lua script. This will let you edit Rotorflight from within your transmitter. So we've got download the latest release, which is 2.2.1. Lua scripts for Edge TX and Open TX, we click there. It's at the bottom, and then we click on the zip file source code. And again, I'm going to put that in my TX15 video folder, so save that there. We need the Lua script for the Express LRS, that's the protocol that it communicates with the RX with. So we're going to right click, save as for that, for some reason. TX15 video, save. And the last thing we're going to get is download zip here, where you click code and then download zip. This is going to be a battery meter so that we've got the telemetry for battery readout. Right, next step. So we're now going to install the software. So we're going to go installer, run, and then install that. Click OK, click through it. I've already got it installed, so I'm not going to do that. So that's your Rotorflight configurator. We're going to come back to that later. The first thing I'm going to do is update the firmware on the radio. So in order to do that, you've got the aileron and rudder trim switches here. Push them both towards each other. So you're pulling those in. Press the radio on. And then if I let go of that, it now says Edge TX bootloader. Get your USB cable, USB-C, into the top where it says USB. We plug that in. It says copy firmware to the drive. So you've seen it's opened up a drive here for Edge TX UF2. And then I'm going to go back. This was the file we downloaded. So it ends in .uf2. I'm going to copy that from here onto my radio. And that says writing. So there's a bar here that's loading to say that it's writing. Writing complete. Done. So that will let us, I'll disconnect it. So that will let us activate the 3 position switches. I will show that when we do the radio setup. So next, we will copy over the Lua scripts. So I've booted this up. I'm going to plug it in. You're going to scroll to where it says USB storage. And that's going to bring up this page. This is all the contents of your radio. So we have got here, first of all, the Rotorflight Lua script. So I am going to extract all, extract. And we've got those files. So I'm going to go into source scripts, and here are the scripts. So I'm going to copy those from here into the scripts. So you can see it's the same naming scripts. That's those. They get copied into the scripts folder on the USB drive that is your transmitter. It's almost finished, done. We go back to the folder that we downloaded everything. We've got widgets. And again, I'm literally just going to copy. Sorry. Back out of that. So we've got USB drive, the page here, we've got widgets and sounds. I'm going to copy the 2 folders, widgets and sounds, and it will just replace everything that's new. So they've gone in. So you can see the new ones are in there now. And lastly, we are going to do the Lua for ELRS. So we go back to the USB drive, which is your radio, and we're going to go into scripts, and we are going to go into tools, and this is where these Lua scripts, so that's the Rotorflight 2 Lua script that we've put in. We're going to drag ELRS version 3 Lua from your downloads into there. Done. So that's all the software that you need on your radio, already ready to go. Now I'm going to move the camera and we're going to do all the setup on the radio. Right then, let's have a look. So we should now have everything on there. If we go System, Tools, Apps, we've got Express LRS and Rotorflight 2. So those are the things that we installed. We're also going to go System, Radio Setup, Hardware. I'm going to scroll down, go to Calibration, Sticks in the center, Pots in the center, Center All Axis, Next. And then move all the axis, so we're just moving those to their most extremes, and then turning all the pots as far as they go. Click Next, done. So we've calibrated the sticks. Switches. So I said that we've put the 3 position switch on the point, what do they call them, SE and SF. They're now 3 positioned. And with the firmware that we've put on, if we go SE, we can select 3 position, SF, 3 position. So now the radio will see all 3 positions on those switches. That's set. Next, just because I copied the SD card from the factory website, something I'm just going to check. Yours should be set correctly, but I'm in radio setup, general settings. Down here it has what mode the radio is. So I am going to set mode to 2. Because this is a mode 2. radio. So yeah, mine was set to mode 1. I'm not really sure why. Default channel order, I'm actually going to set to what we normally use on Rotorflight, which will be aileron as the first channel. So it will be aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder, aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder, AETR. To be honest, I don't actually know if you need to do that with the default channel order, but that's what I'm going to do. That's done. I'm going to hold down model just to be sure that it's all fresh and new. I'm going to create new model, blank model. So that should be, with everything that I've set, exactly the standard model with nothing in it. So now we're going to go in that. You can name it, I'm not going to bother. Internal RF, we're going to put CRSF. That's how it's going to communicate with your model, and we'll look at how we bind that shortly. Okay, next page. So you've got the page buttons here. So yeah, I think actually the fact that I've put those default channel orders means that we're starting with everything already in the correct point. So the order that we want things is aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder on the sticks. So that is already set. Now we just need to add more inputs. So channel 5 is going to become your arm switch. So in order to do that, we're literally just going to put source SA, so you can flick the switch, it will flick to where it is, and we select SA. Waiting for this one is going to be -100. Would just mean that it's moving in the direction that's already default set on Rotorflight. That's all you need to do. Next, channel 6 is going to be your throttle hold. So for this, I'm going to put max as the value, and it's going to be SF up. With SF up, the value is going to be -100. So you got max, -100, switch SF, and you flick it into the up position, you've got the up arrow there towards you. That's done. On that same channel, on 6, this is the most complicated bit, so bear with me. Insert after. Again, we're going to scroll to where it says max. And that's going to be set the same, because for this, normally you might run a slightly higher percentage. It would be like an auto rotation. But for the sake of simplicity, this is also going to be just -100. Switch is going to be SF dash, which is the middle position. So that will still be a throttle hold. That's all you need to do. Max, -100, SF in the middle. Go back. And then insert after again. The last input we need, again, we're going max, switch. This one is going to be SF away from you, SF down, as you can see there. That is selected, and that's giving us 100% output. So effectively, the switches, if you see, it will highlight. In the middle, we're -100, -100, and when we go away from us is +100. That will be motor run as it goes away from you. You can technically set that however you prefer it, if you have it the other way around, if you understand the logic of how we've done that. But anyway, that will work. And in another video, perhaps, if you're interested, I can make a much better video about how we actually normally use this setup in order to get auto rotation modes out of Rotorflight. But there isn't an auto rotation option really on the S2 Max, so we're not going to worry about it. Channel 7 is going to be your bank switch. So for this, you just take the source. That one's going to be SE. That's how I like to use my banks. And the weighting is going to be -100. Again, just with the default settings in the S2 Ultra, that means it's all going to line up the way that it should without as much messing around. By the way, you can name all of these, and you probably should name all of these, but like I said, quick and dirty. This is bank, so you could input the name banks. Trust me, it's way easier if you do it, if you can be bothered. This is throttle, this is banks, and name them, but I'm not going to. Channel 8, we're going to use as stability. It can basically be whatever switch you want. I'm going to set it to SC. And I can't actually remember. I'm going to go again for -100 on the weighting. Effectively, plus or -100 is just going to change which direction activates stability. We'll play around with that. So now that all the inputs are finished, we go next page. And this is mixers. We are going to click add, channel 5. Source is going to default already to number 5 that we set on the inputs, which is fine, so we don't actually need to change anything. And it's going to be the same for all of them. We just add all the channels that we've created. Channel 6, done. Add, 7, return. Add, 8, return. So now we've got all the channels that in the previous page we set up, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're controlled by the switches we want them to, and they exist as outputs on the mixers. That's it. Oops, I forgot something. So with the magic of editing, after we finish this section, we've done all 8 channels. We are going to go next page, next page, next page, next page, next page. We get to special functions. We're going to click here, special functions. And we're going to, special function 1, trigger, just scroll down, it's quite a long way down towards the end of the page, you've got on. Trigger on, function, Lua script. In the folder where it says value, you click that, you select the RF2BG, on, enabled. This is going to give you the telemetry function through Rotorflight, and I believe it also is needed in order for the tuning from the radio to function. So that's it. Now back to where we were. Okay, so I've got the helicopter here. This is the little tiny ELRS receiver that you get in the box. On the radio we're going to click System, and then we are going to go Tools, Apps, Express LRS. While we're here we can check that we've got the mode we want. So 333 full 2.4 gig. Absolutely perfect. And here we are going to go shortly to bind. So the next thing, you take your little ELRS receiver, and it says ELRS here on this middle port. Make sure that you've got the polarity correct. So I've got the black facing towards the rear. I'm just going to touch it just enough that it lights up. So if you see here, there it touches. And then I'm basically going to go in and out 3 times. So in, out, in, out, in. Now it's flashing. So that's in bind mode. It's power cycle binding. And then here I just click bind. You see the flashing has changed. If I now cycle the power, so we go unplug, plug back in, solid light. And if I now open back up Rotorflight here, right, so let's say default model. Let's have a look if the sticks are working how they should. So with everything that we set up, we got left, right on aileron, forwards, backwards on pitch, yaw is left and right, collective, which it calls throttle here, moves correctly. The throttle hold switch, when we bring it towards us, we've got 0 throttle. In the middle position, we've got 0 throttle. There we've got 100% throttle. The bank switch, we're going to move that, which shows us aux 2. Which is the way that it will be set default on the S2 Ultra. We'll look at that shortly. We'll assign it your banks. The arming switch is working on aux 1. So that's armed, 100% towards you is disarmed, and I'll show you that as well. The next channel, sorry I skipped that when I went to throttle. Aux 3 is what we set up as our stability, so that should be on SC, and there you see we've got an input. Cool. So all these channels here on the receiver section are working as they should. If we now go through to modes, this is completely stock, so we're just making sure that aux 1 is assigned to the switch we think that it is. So this is just to check. As I move this SA switch away, this range here of the signal that it's receiving goes into the band that arms it. Don't really need to understand it. Again, if you're interested, there are plenty of good videos that do explain how this works, but this is an out-the-box S2 Ultra, and this does give you what you want. So angle, if this has worked correctly, sorry, SC. Yeah, cool. So on your SC switch, when the switch is away from you, the model is in stability mode, so then it will keep itself level. So that works. Towards you, you got everything you want. Middle switch got everything you want. Away from you, the model is in stability mode. So, to make sure your telemetry works correctly, something that you need to do is in the receiver section here, we're going to go to telemetry settings, enable custom telemetry. All this is going to need enabling. So we're going to go telemetry packet rate 333 and telemetry packet ratio is 16. These are set from the settings that are in the telemetry on your ELRS. So on ELRS module that we looked at earlier and where we did the binding, you have the telemetry ratio and the packet rate. So those are set to match. So that is in. And the thing we need is we need battery. We want voltage, current, consumption, charge level, cell voltage. We might not need them all, but we're going to start with that. ESC, I'm going to take current, and RPM, I'm going to take head speed. This is super basic stuff, but it will just be enough in order for us to have the battery telemetry. So we click save and reboot. So on power, I'm just going to check that the battery is set up. So here, it says full cell voltage 4.1, maximum cell voltage 4.3. That'll work, to be honest. So it doesn't really need changing. You can put in here, it's going to be 3 cell, and it's 750 milliamp hour, so it's got more info then. The other final thing is if we go to adjustments here, we have the profiles. So that's taking off aux 2 like we said. And if you watch the red bar, profile 2 in the middle, profile 3. So that's it. It's ready to fly. As I say, we can go a lot more in depth about how this actually works if you want to understand it. I'm sure kind of seeing it will help make some sense about what this is doing. It's just a flow of inputs from here. You're seeing the raw data here, and the model has been programmed. If you just got a completely blank Rotorflight aircraft, then this section wouldn't be set up for you. You would need to tell it, I want channel aux 2 to do the profile selection, etc., etc. That's another video. You're nearly done. Well done. So, computer bit's done. Let's plug the model in, just make sure everything seems like it's working correctly, and then we'll also get the telemetry set up on the radio. So, arm switch towards me, hold switch towards me. That initialized. It did a little initialization. We'll check the directions, so forwards, backwards, left and right. That's fine. And left, right, forwards, backwards. Collective up, collective down. As we know, because we saw on the radio, we saw on the computer that it was correct. So the final thing, I'll move the camera back and we're just going to put a very basic telemetry setup on the screen. We'll give it a test. You ready to enjoy it? Right, so still all connected up, just where we last left. So we're going to go model, and we're going to sort out the telemetry. So we're going to go next page, 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 and we get to discover new. So telemetry setup, click discover new, and we'll wait. There we go. And here we have a list of telemetry that we've just selected. So we've got the battery, we've got the current, we've got the capacity, we've got battery percentage, cell numbers, V cell, etc., etc. Stop. So that is all the information that we need. We can now hit return. Okay, so we've got all of our telemetry values in the radio. Everything's connected still again. So we're going to click on the screen. We're going to select in the UI setup screen 1. I'm just going to use a super basic layout, 1+2, because we don't have that much that we need for this little micro. And as I said, this is just quick and dirty. So I find the E-power bar easier to set up. The ER power bar is the newer one. Doesn't matter. Anyway, E-power bar, volt sensor. From that, we're going to select the telemetry option here. So that is that bottom left icon, and we're going to scroll down until we get VBAT. That one is VBAT. PCNT sensor is going to be your battery percentage. So we're going to, again, click telemetry, scroll down, and we're going to select battery percentage. Oops, I missed. Battery percentage, and the milliamp sensor, telemetry again, scroll down, and we're going to look at capacity. 20% reserve means that even when it reads 0, you've actually still got 20% left in the pack, and at cells 0, it's just going to take the cell count off Rotorflight. So that's what we want. So we can now click away from that, and there we go. You've already got battery telemetry set up. Next, we're going to click on the next box below. I'm going to put value, and here we're going to go telemetry, scroll down, and we're going to put head speed. There's your head speed. This theme color is horrible. There's loads of videos about themes. Make it however you want. That's the joy of Edge TX and Radiomaster. So again, we've gone value on the lower one. I'm going to go telemetry options, and I'm going to scroll down and select ESC current with a positive on it. So current positive, that is the maximum current that it's seen. So to be honest, let's change the colors because I cannot read it. So we're going to go color black, select, save. Same here. I'm going to stop being so lazy. Color black, save. Done. Head speed, current, voltage. Perfect. So that's it. It's ready to go. Double check that all of your directions are moving correctly, that you've got left, right, forwards, backwards, collective, up and down. Move the model, check that it's correcting in the right direction, and that's it. Let's give it a quick maiden. That wasn't too bad, was it? So you push the disarm, the arm switch away from you, which is SA. So flick that away, and then we're going to take off throttle hold, take it off in bank 1. Seems to work. Bank 2. Lovely. Okay. Oh. Sorry, the person who sent me that model. So that's it. That's another model set up on Rotorflight with the TX15. It wasn't too bad. I hope that was helpful. Next one is going to be the V-Control, coming soon.